Okay, folks, welcome back. I'm going to try to get another quick bit of work done today on this. I do want to show one thing I did before I started recording, which is in the ground vehicle class, I had a member variable. Good grief, it's taking forever to open. I had a member variable with a that was holding on to an ability, and I was setting that ability in the constructor. I was giving that ability to the class, and I have undone that, at least partially here. Let me wait for this to finish loading. It looks like it's going to take forever. Okay. Okay, I think I finally got this to load. So this startup ability property here, I'm going to get rid of that because, good grief, so slow. I just installed the latest version of Writer, and I think it's having to re-index all the sources from the engine, so it's taking forever. Okay, so I got rid of that variable, and in the begin play, I've already commented this out. I'm going to get rid of it. So this line of code was giving that ability to the class, but the reason I've removed that now is because I'm doing that in the blueprint, and whenever Unreal finishes loading, I'll show that to you. Okay, so my project finally loaded, and I can open up the T72 blueprint, and you can see that in the begin play in the blueprint, I just go ahead and give that ability to the class. So I don't need to do it. I don't need it to be hard coded in the C++ if I can just add it right here, and this isn't really going to impact any kind of performance or anything, so I'm not really worried about it. And I think it makes sense that, you know, if you had a full team, that you'd want your designers to give the abilities in the blueprint. You wouldn't want those to be hard coded in the C++. So that's what I've done there. Then the other thing I did do is I realized that the turret and the gun, they were animating properly from, or the pitch and the yaw were replicating properly from server to client, but not the other way around. I always forget that when you mark a property replicated, that it only goes from server to client. It doesn't go the other direction. So I've still got them replicated to go from server to client, but to go from client to server, I created these two methods here: server set turret yaw and server set cannon pitch. And in the input methods, I just call turret yaw triggered now calls the server set turret yaw if it doesn't have authority. So, and the cannon pitch does the exact same thing. So that fixes that. So I suspect I need to do something similar on the aircraft. I'm sure my control surfaces are probably only animating from server to client, but I'm not going to fix that right now because I think when I circle back to the aircraft, I'm going to end up changing the way that works quite a bit. So also I can remove this check here from the if statement since I don't have that. anymore. And I'm going to go ahead and compile that. And then what I'm going to do when that's done compiling is I'm going to try to add the cooldown to the cannon firing. So it's got like a 7-second cooldown once it fires before it can fire again. And there is one thing I did ahead of time to make that easier. And I will say this: the documentation here was, it was hard to find good documentation on this because I think this must have changed. The way this works, the way cooldowns work at some point must have changed, because a lot of the documentation references things that no longer seem to exist. So it took me a while to figure it out. The one thing I did do ahead of time was I added a new gameplay tag under ground vehicle, fire cannon. No. Maybe I still need to add it. Let me check. No, I did. I put it in the wrong place though, it looks like. I think this cooldown probably belongs down here. So I'm going to do that. Ground vehicle, fire cannon, cooldown. We'll add that, and I think I can make this go away. I don't think I need this. And I definitely don't need this. Okay. There we go. That takes care of that. And let's see. Alright, I'll pause and wait for this to finish. Actually, looks like there's a problem here. Damaged mesh. Looks like maybe I have a bad save at some point. Let's see. Oh, damaged mesh. Let's see, what's this? Oh. There we go. Alright. Cancel that. And fire it up again. Alright, I'll pause and wait for that to finish. Okay, so that finished compiling. So what I'm going to do here is, in my abilities, I'm going to create an effect called ground fire cannon cooldown. And we'll open this up, and we're going to make this have has duration under the duration policy. I'm going to change this. I'll just hard code it to 7 seconds for now. And then we're going to add a component called grant tags to target actor here. And the tag we're going to add is going to be our cooldown tag that we created. And then in our fire cannon ability, I'm going to come out of here and do commit ability cooldown. And under class defaults, I'm going to, under this cooldowns area, I'm going to choose that cooldown effect and save that. Let me see if that does the trick. and it does. So I'm hitting the space bar and nothing's happening. But if I wait another 4 or 5 seconds and it fires again, and if I wait 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, works perfect. So obviously at some point I'd want probably some sound to play there, some sort of reloading sound, but so that the user would know that it's reloading. But for now, that's pretty good. So there is another thing I need to do, which is if I hit that tank one more time, we can see that it's, actually did not get destroyed. I must not have hit it directly. There we go. So you can see that tank is now destroyed and it's smoking because of the code that I wrote in this on health attribute changed. However, this is not going to replicate, right? This was just to see if everything worked, which it does, but now I need to do something here differently. And I think what the Lyra example does is they have an ability on death. So I need to take a quick look at the Lyra project. I need to see how they are determining when death happens in order to fire that ability. So I'll make an ability called, ground vehicle _ destroyed or something like that. And that ability will have a gameplay effect, which will then trigger the cues, which would be actually, maybe I don't want to do it that way. I need to think about that for a minute, because I need to actually replace the mesh when it happens and trigger the particle system. Now I can spawn the particle system. That's actually not a big deal at all. Then the question is, how do I actually replace the static mesh? I don't know if that's really something you do in a queue. I gotta think about that for a minute, but let me take a look at the Lyra example real quick and see what it does. Maybe that'll give me a clue. Okay, I think what I want to do here is create a blueprint that inherits from my attribute set. So Aspen attribute set p _ Aspen _ attribute set. Need to rename these. I keep forgetting my convention. Okay, so now I have my attribute set, and I think if I take a look at my tank, let's change this. Oh, I can't. I need to make it a subclass. Hmm. I'm not sure that's what I want. Oh, interesting that nothing shows up now. Okay, I think I see how I want to take care of this. Let's see if I can fit it in about the next 45 minutes or so. So, I'm gonna add a folder in my ground directory called components, and I'm going to create a new Unreal class inherited from actor component. We'll call it Aspen Ground Vehicle Health component. And let's see. I think, let's see. So, add those. Don't want tick. Okay. So we're gonna create. I'm gonna steal this right from the Lyra example. We'll add an ability system component, and then we'll add the attribute set. That's not what I want. Okay, so now we have the attribute set, and so what we'll do is where we set this up We don't need this anymore. I guess we'll put it in our component instead. And this right here, we're going to take care of this too. So okay. And then we will have this function here. Okay. So let's just steal this code straight from Lyra and simplify it. Okay, I can't remember what I called that. I called it... Oh, I didn't call it. Okay. Actually, let's just steal this. I'll have to fix that later. So we're going to do... health attribute changed. I'm going to steal that definition from here. Okay. I don't know if I need to bother with broadcasting that right now. I probably do, actually, but yeah, probably should. It's not worried about max right now, so I'm not gonna worry about any of that for now. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I really don't even... What do I want to do here? I guess I do want to broadcast, so... Let's do... So... Alright, data.new value. Instigator, so on health changed. Okay. So this is going to be something we're going to steal. From our health, the health set class, I believe. Actually, okay. I'm just taking a look at the Lyra stuff real quick. Da, 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 da. No. Okay. Or attribute event. Where in the world is that at? Oh, do I really want to do this? I want to broadcast that back. Give this a thought and see. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Undo. It's the first time I've seen not being able to just set a point to the pointer. Anyway, we'll see what happens if I just... still doesn't like it. That is annoying as hell. I don't know. I'm rethinking this whole thing. I wonder if I can just handle this a much simpler way. Let me try something. Get rid of all that. And okay, now I can put, so this is kind of a, I don't know, let's see. So if I do, a, what did that look like? Yeah, there we go. Subclass. There we go. So now I'm sort of, I won't be giving the, actually I'm going to call this destroyed ability. Kind of don't like this because I'm just putting back what I basically just got rid of. I didn't want to hard code abilities in, but I think this will be the easiest way to deal with this for now. I don't want to have to go creating a bunch of components and everything just yet, so I'll compile that and then I'll come in and make changes to the blueprint. Okay, so now that compiled, yeah, I can create an ability now. Okay. So now I have an ability. For when my vehicle is destroyed. And to owner. Okay, so we're going to apply that effect. And let's see what happens now when I make a queue. Okay. Let's do ground. No. Ground dot destroyed. Okay. Let me look at my other one. On execute. Okay. So I'm gonna end up doing two things. I'm gonna swap. I'm gonna need to swap the I just want to do spawn system. Okay. I'm gonna end up having to call. I'm gonna end up having to make a function here called swap whatever. Let me do that real quick, I guess. Make a public function. This. Actually, let's just replace what's in here with, we'll replace it with from C++. I don't have to do that yet. Oh, goodness. Activate. Try activate ability. Destroy ability. Oh, for God's sakes. Alright, I'll deal with that later. So that's going to execute the ability then. so now we gotta swap damage to mesh. And we'll end up calling that right here. Once that's done compiling. And in the meantime, I'll look up try get ability or try execute. Okay, here we go. Straight from ChatGPT. Okay, there we go. So now that ability should execute. And what did I call it? Swap damaged. And it's not showing up. Aspen ground vehicle. Swap damaged mesh. I did not put a U function. There we go. Okay. There we go. We'll wait for that to compile. Okay, so now let's see what I got here. Still doesn't show. Huh. Interesting. Well, for now, I'll just leave it. I guess I could actually implement that whole function right here if I just made a getter. If I came down and say get mesh, yeah, I can actually now if I just make a getter for, let me try that instead of this swap nonsense. Okay, let me see if that shows up now. No, of course not. It didn't seem to like the U function that returns a pointer, so hang on. Let's see if that works. Okay. Now. Boom. So we actually. There we go. Okay. Come on. Okay. This is ridiculously slow. Come on. Okay. My editor completely froze up there. So I rebooted it and let me try that again. basically what I want to see is if when the client destroys a tank, if the server shows, and vice versa, the damaged mesh and particle system. Okay, finally got this thing to run. Alright. So what in the world? Okay, this appears to be completely broken again. Don't appear to be able to turn my turret. Out of time. Okay, had to run to an appointment. I'm back. I'm gonna see if I can finish this up real quick. I think I'm missing one thing, which is in my T-72 blueprint. I didn't hook up the destroyed ability. So hook that up. I'm not sure why the turret wasn't moving a minute ago. Let's see what happens if I run it. Let me run it from the server. So what do we got? Okay, so I can see the destroyed. One moment. Let me check. So they both see it. Client and server both see the destroyed tank. Let me try it the other direction. Try again. There we go. Yeah, I think my code that moves the turret if it's not the authority is a little broken, so I need to fix that. But let's see if the tank destroys. Pitch works just fine. It's only the yaw. And it's destroyed on both. and smoking on both. So that's exactly what I want. Perfect. So that is completely working. There's just one small thing to fix, which is my input for the yaw is not correct. I believe that's probably what I need. Let me compile that. And this will hopefully wrap up everything. So that really gets the basic gameplay ability system implemented, which is what I wanted to accomplish on the tank. And so there's obviously a ton more to do with the weapon systems for the tank. There's a machine gun there. You can launch smoke grenades, etc. So there's other things to do, but now that I have the basic system implemented, I probably need to go ahead and think about circling back to the soldier and the aircraft. I don't know why it doesn't want to load this second. There we go. And the aircraft to get them to get the gameplay ability system implemented on those. The yaw logic is still not correct. Huh. It's like it didn't compile almost. Try one more time. That looks more like it. Okay, probably just didn't, for whatever reason, it wasn't saved or something. Anyway, like I said, I need to circle back to the rifle and implement that in the gameplay ability system, and then I also need to fix up the animations on the soldier, the aiming animations, bring them into the motion matching system. And then I need to come back to the aircraft. I need to fix its networking up, and I need to implement the flares and the shaft in the gameplay ability system as well. And once I've done that, then I can think about, building a more robust weapon system. And I'm not really happy with having to set this destroyed ability here. I'd rather set it on the blueprint, but in the actual, I'd rather have the give ability be in the blueprint, but I think for now I'm fine with that because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal actually with damage to this tank, right? I could make a health component like I did for the soldier and have it broadcast, and if I do that, then I could have the blueprint react to that broadcast event and execute the ability. I wouldn't need to do this anymore, but I don't know if I want to do a health component because I may end up doing something more like realistic, I guess would be the right word, where I modify the physics asset and use it to determine, which part of the tank got hit and what angle the round hit it, things like that, to actually do a more realistic damage. I'm not sure yet, but anyway, I'll end up circling back to that at some point, I imagine. But I don't right now. I'm happy with the basic, the very basic damage that I've got right now. Okay, now let's turn this turret. There we go. Now it works, and let's actually make sure. If I look at this window that I can see, Yep, that's working just fine. Okay, perfect. That is everything I wanted to accomplish with the gameplay ability system for now, so I'm really happy with that. I'm going to get that committed and pushed into Git so that I have it backed up. And then I have to figure out what I want to work on next. Like I said, I'll circle back to the soldier and the aircraft to fix them up. I just don't know what I want to do first. But I'll get that figured out and get on the next video as soon as I can. Until then, thanks. See you then.